What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a long freestyle set with 3D acrylic nail art and hand-drawn nail art. So the first step you see me doing here is pushing back the cuticles. It's the first step in prep, so you can get ready to remove the shine from the natural nails using a 180 sanding bit. Usually when I'm doing this step, I have my drill on about 7,000. You don't have to have it up too high while you're doing this. You just want to make sure you can remove that shiny layer from the natural nail, just to make sure you're getting all the oil off, so when you go to put the acrylic on, the nails are not lifting. So after you get the shiny layer removed, you're going to go ahead and put the nails on. With putting the nails on, you just want to make sure you get a nail that fits from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to get one that's too small because it will pop off. It won't fit securely onto the nail. And then if you get one that's too big, of course it'll be all on the sides of your client's fingers. So you just want to make sure you get one that fits from sidewall to sidewall. If you don't have one that fits perfectly, then you can get a nail that's bigger and just file the sides down to fit to your client's finger. Alright, now that we have the nails on, it's time to go ahead and file them to shape. So this set is going to be long, so I'm not going to cut any length off of them. I'm just going to cut the ring finger into the stiletto shape, and then the rest are going to be square. I know this can is kind of going at an angle while I'm filing it, but if you just bear with me, you'll be able to see it much better when I move on to the next hand. can see me shaping the nails. I use a 100-100 nail file when I'm shaping, just because I want to make sure I have the same consistency on both sides of my nail file. And I just go up and down on both sides of the nail. Try to make sure you do the same number of times on both sides of the nail so that it will be even. But yeah, you just go up and down until you get the desired shape. With the square nails, when you're shaping them, you want to make sure also you're holding the file at a 90-degree angle when you're doing the tip. It's easier to get your shape and keep the shape while you're filing. I know that glare was killer, y'all. I'm trying to, get the hang of things. So just, like I said, bear with me. I'm getting it together. Once you make sure all your nails are the same length and width, you can go ahead and blend the nail tip to the natural nail. You do that using that same 180 sanding bit and with the drill at about 7,000. And the last step in prep is going to be to add the nail primer. You're going to make sure you put that on the nail bed of each nail, just to make sure you've dried it out completely. And now the fun begins. So on the first hand, I'm going to do a yellow ombre. On the pinky nail, you see me putting that clear acrylic down because I was thinking that this was the acrylic that stains the nail bed, but that's the green one. So you're gonna pick up your acrylic bead, you're gonna place it you're gonna place it on the free edge and then drag it down to the tip. I put two beads of acrylic on each nail that I was doing the yellow ombre, which is going to be the pinky, the pointer finger, and the thumb. And you don't have to make the line perfect or anything because again it's going to be an ombre, so you're going to cover up the back part. So you just want to make sure that you have covered the nail completely. You don't have any clear or anything like that showing. So instead of doing each nail individually, I do each color individually, which is why you see me putting the yellow on all the fingers that I'm going to do the yellow on. And then you'll see me doing, you know, the clear, and then you'll see me do the nude. Moving on to the ring finger, I'm going to be doing encapsulated chunky glitter. So you're going to get your acrylic bead, put it down at the free edge of the nail and drag it down to the tip. Then you see me take my acrylic brush and dip it in the chunky glitter and just place it on top of the acrylic before it dries. And then you're just going to repeat that step at the back of the nail close to the cuticle area, so that you can cover the whole nail in glitter. Once you have your glitter down, covering the whole nail, you're just going to take your clear acrylic and encapsulate it, meaning you're going to make sure that it is completely covered so that when you go to file, you won't be filing away your design. Alright, now that we have this finger completely encapsulated, what you can tell is when everything looks dull, it doesn't look shiny anymore, you'll know it's completely encapsulated. Move on to the next finger, which we're going to do completely nude. So just the same steps, going to pick up your acrylic bead, place it on the free edge, drag it down to the tip, and then get your next bead, place it right above that one, drag it down to the tip, and then repeat that 2 more times. So basically I use the 4 bead method when I'm applying my acrylic, and then anything after that I just make sure there's no lumps, bumps, and everything's covered. Alright, what you'll see me doing next is encapsulating the color acrylic with the clear acrylic. I do like to put a clear coat on top because when I'm doing my filing, I won't be touching the color at all. Alright, so I know you guys will see me take my brush and wipe around the cuticle area like I just did there. Just making sure that I didn't leave any acrylic behind, because once it's stuck on the nail, it is hard to get it off when you're filing without tearing up the cuticle. So moving on to the next finger, we're going to do the ombre. You're going to place your first bead right on top of the back of that yellow and then just drag it down to the tip. And then get your second bead, place it right behind that one and drag it down to the tip the same way. And that's going to give you your ombre effect on each nail. With this one, I'm also going to encapsulate it with the clear acrylic because it's two colored acrylics on there. And when I file, again, I do not want to be filing off the colored acrylic. Also, when I'm doing my ombre, I find that it's easier to work with or create the ombre effect when my acrylic is a little more wet. Usually you try to let it dry some so you can work with it better and manipulate and move it how you want to on the nail. But when I'm trying to create my ombre effect, I want it a little wet when I'm moving it. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Alright, so same thing with this pinky nail. We're going to take our nude color and set it right on top of that yellow. We're going to drag it down to the tip. Go back and get our second bead, place it closer to the cuticle area, and then drag it down to the tip as well. Notice that that bead is a little wet like I was saying before, because again, it's easier to create that ombre effect. Then once you have your ombre, you're going to get your clear acrylic and encapsulate, and then do the same thing on the thumb. to the next hand. We're going to do this one orange. Same exact everything as the other hand, except the ombre color is going to be orange. So like I was saying, this hand is exactly like the other hand, except the ombre color is orange. And here you can see me finishing up encapsulating, so I can move on to the pointer finger, which you'll be able to see me do the ombre. Okay, now that we've got our acrylic applied, we're going to clean up the sides of the nails, just get it back to the shape that it's supposed to be, because sometimes when you put the acrylic on there, it can just mess the shape up a little. So you're just going to clean up the sides, and then you're going to file around the cuticle areas with the drill. now that we've cleaned up the sides of the nails, we're going to go ahead and do the cuticle area. I use my 180 sanding bit and my Melody Susie drill. I have it at about 1,000 or a little bit over 1,000 when I'm doing the cuticle area. And you just want to make sure to be careful, of course, not to cut your client, but you do want to get it close as possible so that you can make it a clean look. Something to remember when doing the cuticle area is that you should be able to see where the cuticle starts and the nail starts. So that's how you'll know that you've cleaned it up completely. Also, as you can see, I will go back and forth between my hand file and the drill. I am definitely a perfectionist. I want my clients' nails to look how I would want my own nails to look. And so, like I said, I go back and forth between the hand file and the drill because I just want my nails to be perfect. And I just feel like some things you just can't get with a drill, or I haven't mastered how to get it with the drill. And then one more thing, I don't know if you can tell, but I am kind of holding my client's skin that's around the cuticles and just kind of pulling it back so that it can help me not hit it with a drill or with the file, because my file is 100 on both sides, so it's really sharp. So that's something that I do when I'm shaping the nails, when I'm cleaning them up, and when I'm doing the cuticle area. I make sure that I'm holding my client's finger and pulling that skin back. As you can see, this step doesn't really take me too long, and that's because I spent most of my time, or I put most of my effort into making sure that when I apply the acrylic, I apply it neatly and I clean up those cuticle areas. So you do most of the hard work when you land the acrylic, so when you come back to file, it's really already done. You just have to clean it up. now that we have cleaned up our cuticle areas and make sure our shape is perfect, now it's time to buff the nails and make sure all the bumps are out and the nails are smooth. As you can see, when I noticed that I had missed a spot on this nail, I just go ahead and correct it with the hand file, which is what you'll see me do on every nail. Now that it's time for bling, you can see me here just kind of testing out what design I wanted to do. And I thought I wanted to put that kind of pointy shape one there, but then it messed up the shape of my stiletto. It kind of made it wider, so that's something to pay attention to when you're putting on your bling. You don't want to mess up the shape of your nail that you work so hard to get. So I decided that I was going to do like an S shape, and what I'm going to do is place the bigger piece or the bigger jewel that I'm going to use right in the middle, and that's going to help guide the S that I'm going to create. The thing about putting jewels on is basically you kind of have to see it before you put it on in order to do it. So yeah, that's what I'm learning as I'm going. So moving on to the next bling finger, we're gonna put a big piece in the middle just like we did the other finger, but we're not gonna do the design exactly the same. Remember when I said you gotta be able to see the bling on the nail before you even put it on there? And so this is just me checking, I guess, to see if it was looking the way I had envisioned, and it wasn't. So I just went back in and added some small bling around that teardrop bling, just to give it more of the effect I was going for. Alright, now that we got the bling on the ring fingers, we're going to go in and do the nail art, which is going to be a music note. You're going to see that when I first started out drawing it, I kind of made it look like some headphones, so I had to go in and fix it. But it does come out looking like a music note in the end. Art is definitely not my first love, so this is something that I'm definitely working on, so just stick with me. We're almost finished. So clearly you could see it was not coming together the way I liked. It was like, yeah, it was just not coming together. So like I said, I had to keep fixing it and coming back to it. You can even see what she was looking like. Okay, so, yeah, see, she had to tell me like, oh, maybe it's this line, maybe it's that line, like. But like I said, I'm gonna get it together. It's gonna all come together in the end. Okay, so we finally got a music note. And so the next step, you're gonna see me just color it in with the blue polish to give it some life. I did freestyle this set, but it was inspired by a set of pajamas she said she was wearing to like a girls' night. So it had like some candy and music notes and stuff like that on it. So you can see me put the top coat on this hand because this one is completely finished, and then on the other hand, we'll go in and put the lollipop on using clear acrylic. Okay, so for the last step, we're gonna put the 3D nail art on. We're gonna use a couple beads of clear acrylic to make sure that it sticks. While I'm watching this, I see that I forgot to put my clear coat on top first, but I would do that first just because it makes it easier. You don't have to try to not get it on the 3D acrylic, but no big deal. I'm just gonna, work around it when I go and put the clear coat on. But as you can see here, you just put it on there and then you just kind of fill it in wherever you see fit. You don't want to make it look too bulky, but you do want to make sure that it stays. It's not gonna get caught on anything, putting clothes on or whatever like that. You just want to make sure it's gonna hold up to normal everyday stuff. All right, so we've come to the end. I'm just checking to make sure everything is everything. But here we go. Set turned out so bomb. Like, wow. Music note actually looks like a music note. Do you see that jewel placement? I mean, for real. But for real, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.